Hello, hello. I am Jessica of Feline Ascension. I am a cat communicator and energy shifter, and I have been working with cats now for, a little over 2 years. And I am doing a video today to talk about quick little ways that you can communicate with your cat. I'm going to try to make this as simple as possible because I know for me, I have a tendency to overthink things and overcomplicate things. So my goal for the video and for you is to make just things as simple as possible so that you can enjoy having conversations with your cat and really getting to know them better, because it's kind of the most important thing to do when you have a relationship with your cat. You want to get to know them. Okay, so there are at least two different kinds of what I call cat chats. And a cat chat is basically having a conversation with your cat. So cat chat, nice and easy to remember. The first kind of cat chat is when you notice that their behavior is a little off, and you can just see like a look in their eye that is different, or maybe their body language has changed, and you just kind of get an overall sense like, there's something that they're trying to communicate to me. That's cat chat number one. Cat chat number two is when you want to like have a sit down conversation and really just kind of allow your cat the opportunity to speak and just figure out and make sure that their boundaries are being met, make sure that their needs are being met, all that good stuff. So that's a more like elongated cat chat, where the other one is more like an on the fly cat chat. But to get started on both of those conversation styles, you would have to do like an opening prayer or a prayer of protection. And I'm going to put the one that I use in the description box. That way you have it. And I'm also going to include a link to a video, not a video, just kidding, a link to a PDF that I wrote, which is more so about energy healing for animals, but it is going to have like a list of really good questions to ask your cat. And it's just really good to kind of just give you a background and preface some good information. So I'm going to link that all below in the description box, but for the sake of brevity, I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. So once you do your prayer of protection and just get that started, really just sit down with your cat and just have like a nice little moment. What I like to do if I'm physically in the room with the cat is I will sit with them. I will create that bond. If this is already your own cat, that bond ultimately should already be there. So you can give your cat a pet, just like pet like in between the ears like that, maybe a little chin scritch, something like that. Whatever they really favor, because obviously every cat has their favorite little like pet point. So do that for a couple seconds and just like let them kind of relax into it. And then there's a couple options. If you are highly intuitive, all you have to do is just ask the question and allow the answer to come to you, whether that be you have like clairaudience and you can hear the message, you can see the message. There's no telling how it will come to you, but it just simply will if you are really intuitive and really just in touch with, yourself and all that good stuff. So that's one way. Although people are watching this video who are probably like not at all in that kind of wheelhouse, they don't really identify with spirituality, they're like, that doesn't help me at all. So if that's you, which in fact, that was me, I was not that person a couple of years ago. So what I learned to do is use muscle testing. So muscle testing is a form of applied kinesiology. And what that does is it's basically using like interlocking fingers. There's multiple ways to muscle test. If you search for it on YouTube, there's quite a few different videos on it, resources, all that good stuff. But with applied kinesiology, basically what you're doing is you're tapping into the supercomputer in your brain, and you're allowing answers to flow through your body from that supercomputer directly. So you're bypassing the ego, you're bypassing different aspects of consciousness, you're just bypassing things that ultimately get in the way. We don't want them there. We just want the answer clear, pure, divine, all that good stuff. To do that, I take interlocking fingers. And so when you break something apart, it's a no. And when it stays together, it's a yes. So if you're looking at your cat and you're thinking, okay, there's something going on with him or her, there's a sense of unease there. You could just simply say, is there something going on in your world right now that is causing you some stress? And it could be no, and it could be yes. So by doing it with these interlocking fingers, you just kind of have to make sure that your fingers are lightly touching, There's not a lot of pressure there, and you're not actively pulling it apart like intentionally. You're just kind of letting go and letting it kind of work through you. So that's how I would start with that. If you're not a person who feels they're very intuitive and they're not connected to any kind of special gifts, applied kinesiology is the way to go. Muscle testing was a godsend for me because in the beginning I lived in my head. And so it was very hard for me to let the spirit side of me come through so that I could really kind of open up the connection. So applied kinesiology, muscle testing, like a total godsend. If you're a person that likes a pendulum, use your pendulum. That's what it's there for. Use that to connect with your cat and allow that pendulum to communicate through you or through them. It's very simple to do it. So you could just simply ask your cat, is there something going on in your world that's bringing you some stress? And they'll say yes. See, mine is just going because I've kind of programmed it to do it that way. And in my own world, there's something that's causing me stress. And honestly, it's filming this video because I have anxiety on public speaking. Applied kinesiology, using a pendulum, using your God-given gifts and talents, that is a surefire way to connect with your cat. And that's something that you can just do super, super easily. And really, honestly, the biggest thing is just having that pure, loving desire to want to deepen the relationship with your cat. So if you are just setting the intention like, you know what, I really want to know what's going on in my cat's world. I want to be able to talk to them. I want to be able to deepen the relationship. If you're setting that intention from a pure standpoint, there's nothing that's going to stop you from doing it. And that's really what it boils down to. It's just a matter of sitting down and actually doing it. And I know sometimes that's the hardest thing to do because there is a fear of failure. And that's completely understandable when you're trying something new. But at the end of the day, your cat wants to be able to communicate with you. They want to be able to share their knowledge with you. So it's just a matter of finding the best way for you to be able to get the answers. And so if that's using muscle testing, if that's using your pendulum, and if that's using your intuition, all the better. Another option, and I did this as well, I do this now with clients because it just allows for a really deep connection, but I love using oracle cards and tarot cards as a form of communication with cats. It's really, really fascinating what comes up, and usually it's kind of like mind-blowing, to be honest. But I love using oracle cards and tarot cards with cats. So if you have them on hand, do that. Pose the question. Just pose the question to the deck and then allow the higher self of your cat to come through and pick that card. A lot of times the card will just fly out of the deck because there's something like, okay, we really need to say this. And then also you can, and I love doing this too. I actually love if you're in the room with the cat and they're paying attention and they're like of active mind. If they're in a state of rest, this obviously isn't going to work, but if they're active, this is a great thing to do. And I will have the cats pull the cards. So the trick is, and this sounds crazy, but it's so fun. The trick is to take the deck and split it into 2 even halves and then have them just put it in front of them and have them pick the half. The half that they pick, then split that into new halves, put it in front of them again, have them pick, and then keep splitting it until you're down to 1, 2, 3, 1 or 2 or 3 cards and have them pick the final card. My gosh, when I say the messages are so on point, I'm not kidding. It's freaking mind-blowing. I actually did it again the other day with my cat Leota, and it's exactly what I needed to hear in the moment. It's exactly what just was needing to come through for me, and it was just a lot of reassurance, honestly. So oracle cards, tarot cards, and your cat are like BFFs. And honestly, it's something I never would have thought to do if it wasn't for the cat, or it wasn't for the fact that my cat was just messing with my cards one day, and it just made me go, does she want to be a part of this? And she did. So that was fun. So muscle testing, pendulum, intuition, oracle cards, all excellent ways to communicate with your cat. The 4 ways that I described can be used for both type of cat chats. If I'm going to sit down and do a longer cat chat where I'm asking very specific questions, I'm really just wanting to get a lot of information, what I make sure to do is to have I kind of have everything available to me at the time, because like you just don't know how information is going to come through. So typically I'll have my pendulum ready. My fingers are always obviously attached to me, and I will have a few decks available. But the key with doing these more elongated cat chats is recognizing when your cat is done. You can tell when they're being more present with you and more active with you, but the moment they kind of start to like drift off, or maybe the tail really starts to go very fast, or they're starting to shift their body weight around, you can just tell that they're getting like, okay, like my time here is done. I don't want to have this conversation anymore. Make sure to honor that, because realistically, you can go and pick up the conversation later and they won't skip a beat and the information will still be there, but you have to be respectful of their time and just what they're willing to tell you. And that's actually something that I talk about in the PDF that I referenced before, regarding just honoring their boundaries, and then also making sure to get permission before you really start asking them a lot of questions, because sometimes they're just not in the mood. You know, there's other times they're really forthcoming, they want to go into detail about things, and other times they're just like, no, mom, I don't have it in me, like not right now. And I just honor that and I wait, and usually they'll let me know when they're ready to have that conversation. So it's really good to get permission. I pose ways to do that in the PDF, and just make sure that you're honoring your cat's boundaries, because the biggest thing to remember is that cats love exerting their free will, and they will do so. And the quicker we realize that, the easier it is to continue having a really wonderful relationship with our cats, and just acknowledging that free will and just letting them do their thing, all while having a little cat chat sometimes in the middle. Sprinkle those little cat chats in there. If you are trying to communicate with your cat and you just feel like there might be some blocks getting in the way, you don't really feel like you're getting accurate answers, or you just feel like nothing is happening, one thing that you can do is tune into your own energy and ask yourself, do you feel like there's anything that you're projecting that might be creating a boundary, a block between you and your cat? Because realistically, they reflect back to us. They mirror our energy. So if you feel like there's a disconnect, I hate to say it, but 9 times out of 10, it's coming from your auric field. But the good thing is you can easily correct that. I offer energy shifting sequences, which is basically like energy healing on speed. And it really just shifts the energy between you and your cat for yourself. We can do that for you. You can honestly just ask your guides as well. If you have a really tight connection with your spirit guides, just ask them like, hey, you know what? I feel like there's a block here. You know, help me illuminate it for me so I can see what I need to do, or can you please help me neutralize and dissolve this energy, because I'm really wanting to have this deeper connection with my cat. And if you just come to them very earnestly as to why you want that block gone, and if you're coming from a place of love, I can't imagine that the block won't be taken care of. But again, I do offer these energy shifting sequences, which is basically me helping you connect to the quantum field, the quantum realm, and we just do these autopilot energy shifting programs to remove blocks, to dissolve any energies that no longer serve you. Anything that's not inherently yours, we get rid of, and we just really create more of a stronger channel between you and your cat with these sequences. So that's also an option, but the biggest thing to remember is not to be discouraged. You know, it is so amazing to open up this connection with your cats, but sometimes it really takes the dedication and just being consistent. You know, consistency is key, because at the same, like, they want to talk to you and they're very eager to talk to you, but at the same time, they want to make sure that the information that they're giving you isn't going to fall on a person who's just not ready to hear it. They want to make sure that you're ready to take action. And so in order for you to take action, you have to be willing to hear what they have to say. So don't get discouraged, and just remember that cats are here for you as we are here for them. It's a mutually beneficial experience and relationship, and talking to them honestly is just so dang fun. I they have me laughing. Like, honestly, every cat has such a very distinct and unique personality, and once you tap into that personality, it's just hysterical. They're just so funny. I've never worked with a cat that I just didn't instantly fall in love with, because they just march to the beat of their own drummer, and it is just precious, and I love it. And I wish and hope that everybody gets the chance to really have a little cat chat, because it's very illuminating, and it's the most fun ever. So hopefully that was a good, very brief, because honestly I could talk about this for hours, but I won't because that would just be a really long video. But that is a really down and dirty, quick-ish way on how to communicate. If you have any questions, please leave me comments, let me know. I'm happy to talk to you about it. Like, I will gladly talk your ear off if you give me the opportunity to. So shoot me a message. Also, you can just leave some comments. Go to my website, felineascension.com. I do offer energy shifting sequences in bundles. I also offer cat readings as well as energy shifting all in one. So I definitely have a couple different offerings. I've got some free resources available. So I am just here for you to really open yourself up to what it means to be a cat parent, and how you can really bond with them in ways that you've never imagined, because it's just so freaking rewarding. So that's my video. I'm gonna end this here, but thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for cat facts. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.